The year is 2003. The Matrix has a chokehold on Hollywood. Everybody's in black. Everyone's in leather. Sexy gunplay in slow motion is definitely in. And my 13-year-old self is also very in. I used to play that Matrix game for the PlayStation 2 like all the time. I got so good at that game. Love that shit. Underworld is one of those movies where all the ingredients are there for me to like it. Hot female lead in skin-tight leather outfits. Check. She shoots guns. Check. Vampires versus werewolves. Check. Check. Like, literally, it's all there. But even at the time, I thought this looked pretty stupid. And I wasn't wrong. But maybe I kinda was. The Lycan King Lucian is dead. Vampires have won the war against werewolves like 600 years ago, but werewolves are still pretty pissed about it. In a haunted, gothic-looking building, we see two gothic vampires. They're very sexy and they're scoping out the streets below, looking for werewolves. This is Celine. She's our main character and a very hot vampire, played by Kate Beckinsale. The vampires spot two werewolves on the streets and they jump off the building, descend below, and pursue them into the subway tunnels. One thing of note is how they're dressed and how everybody in this movie dresses. They're all kind of dressed like those goth techno dancers. Everybody's kind of looks like that. Lots of leather, lots of straps and buckles and bullshit like that. Once they get down in the subway tunnels, Celine, she spots this guy. He looks a lot like Scott Stapp. Maybe it is Scott Stapp. Can you take me high? I fucking love Creed. The wolves sense that the vampires are there and shit just goes completely haywire from there. Guns are blazing, bullets are flying, random women are getting shot. Everything's in slow motion. It's great. The guy vampire that's with Celine, he gets shot with some kind of light blue bullet that explodes him. It's pretty crazy. Luckily, she's got some backup who comes in and helps her. Celine's vampire buddy, he was taking pictures, taking some photographs. He's really into photography. She goes and grabs his camera and then runs down the tracks chasing one of the werewolves. Backup vampire and werewolf, they also fight on the train tracks. The werewolf transforms and it's pretty funny, but also like kind of good, which is gonna be a running theme throughout this. A lot of the effects are super dated. At the same time, I found them really charming. Like, it's so bad that also it kind of ends up looking like pretty decent. They end up fighting. Wolfman wins. Celine chases her target down a grate and he tries to get the drop on her, but she pumps his guts full of silver. She grabs his gun and oh no, the ammo, it's blue LED bullets. Oh no. The other wolf tracks her and big old mistake. She launches some Beyblades at him and she starts running. She's hiding from that werewolf when she hears some shouting. I guess she's found some kind of werewolf fighting ring. Werewolf Fight Club. First rule of Werewolf Fight Club, we don't talk about Werewolf Fight Club. Second rule of Werewolf Fight Club, bring your own bones. Or maybe it'd be called Bite Club. Martin Sheen. Is that his name, Martin Sheen? He shows up with a shotgun, interrupts the fight. The two wolves fighting de-transform in one of the most horrific de-transformation scenes I've ever seen. He's like, you guys are acting like a bunch of goddamn dogs. We gotta get our shit together if we're gonna beat these vampires. Y'all can't be out here sniffing each other's asses and licking each other's red rockets. Okay, we can still do that, but we need to toughen up. Celine goes to the vampire mansion where all the vampires hang out and be sexy. She goes to the Master of Arms and is like, hey, they have ultraviolet bullets. This is really bad. Then another one, I guess this is like their leader. His name is Craven. He's like, we'll check it out, but not you. You're not doing any of that shit. Then she goes into this weird room and she stares out into an even weirder room with a bunch of circles on the floor. And turns out this is a tomb of some guy named Viktor. One thing that this movie does is lore. There's a lot of characters and a lot of lore. I'm getting pretty lost. If this gets any deeper, I'm screwed. It does. The wolf that she threw all those Beyblades at, he's still alive. He grabs his fallen litter mate and carries him off. Celine is supposed to be getting ready for some kind of vampire party, but instead she's on computer and she's looking at all the photographs that her dead friend took. And she enhances. And enhances again. And who the heck is that? It's Scott Stapp. But why would werewolves be after a human? Maybe he's a veterinarian. Somewhere else, a mad scientist is doing experiments on lichen blood, and he's got some guy chained up. When Martin Sheen comes in, turns out this guy's blood is no good. He's not the one. I don't know what any of this means. I have no clue what they're talking about. He crosses a name off a list, and then we cut over to Scott Stapp, who has the same last name. Oh my God. I guess he's a surgeon, and after the incident in the subway, he seems a little shell-shocked. His name is actually Michael Corvin. I called him Scott Stapp the whole time, but from this moment forward, I'll refer to him as Michael. Michael Jackson. Black werewolf drops off the body to the mad scientist, and this dude's voice is unreal. Like, listen to this guy.
We ran Rush to Arsenal. 80 rounds. High content. Preventing him from making the change.
Is that his actual voice, or is this for the role? It's like he sucked on the opposite of a balloon. What? I don't even know what that is.
I'm a werewolf. I'm a werewolf.
I can't do it. They're questioning him. They're like, hey, those vampires didn't know what you were after, right? He's like, I don't know.
I don't know.
The vampire party is going on, but Celine left to go find Michael. She breaks into his apartment. The cops go to the hospital to question his work friend, but oh my God, they're not cops. They're werewolves. Werewolf cops. Isn't that a movie already, Werewolf Cop? Maybe I'll have to watch that next. He comes home and she grabs him and she's like, hey, why were those wolves after you? And then the ceiling starts coming down. The CGI is so bad here. Like really, really bad. And she is spraying bullets all over the room, hitting absolutely nothing. Michael runs to the elevator and she's stuck in the hallway and the wolves are coming. They're crawling on the walls just like in Aliens. She's spraying and it's like she's got the infinite ammo cheat on. She finally gets one, which is crazy. I mean, she was spraying lead all over, I guess silver. She's spraying silver all over this hallway. I bet Granny over in apartment 212 is looking like Swiss cheese right now. Then she shoots a circle around her feet to drop the floor and drop herself to the level below. It's really fucking stupid, but kind of cool. Kind of cool. At the bottom floor elevator door is Martin Sheen. She shoots the fuck out of him and he grabs Michael and sucks him. Wait a minute, he's a vampire? Getting a little confused here. She grabs Michael and leaves, and then Martin Sheen takes some vial of some stuff and he does this ridiculous transformation thing where bullets pop out of him and they're smoking. Is he a werewolf or is he a vampire? What the fuck is happening? They peel out in a car and he chases. He has this huge blade that he stabs her with through the roof of the car. It's pretty cool. She runs him over, but he lands on his feet. He's a cat too? So I've been calling him Martin Sheen this whole time. It's actually actor Michael Sheen. Don't know his name yet in this movie. It hasn't been said. Right away you can tell everybody in this movie is like super hot, super sexy, tall. He is not. Not to say he's an ugly guy or anything. It's just his look is such a huge contrast from everybody else. You've got like super hot Kate Beckinsale and then this guy who looks like a hobbit with a receding hairline. Very weird, but he's fucking great in this. Like, legit, probably my favorite character in the whole thing. Michael's like, hey, you should pull over. You're kind of fucked up. And she's like, shut up, bitch. And then immediately passes out and flips the car into the river. Like, why the were they driving towards the water? He drags her to shore and he gives her CPR, which CPR, she's a vampire. She drowns. Vampires can drown. Her wound is pretty nasty though. And it's one hell of a blade that old Sheen's got. Sheen brings the mad scientist a vial of Michael's blood and it is positive. For what? I have no idea, but it is. I guess he's a werewolf now or he has a vampire. He's both. He's a hybrid. I'm not really sure. But Michael got bit and he's changing. Back at the mansion, Michael is passed out and he's having flashbacks to some old werewolf ritual. Craven is fucking pissed that she brought this human into the house. Then there's this other vampire chick who's being super creepy while Michael's asleep. She finds his bite and completely freaks out. He wakes up, jumps out the window, and runs away. That's all this guy's doing. He's just getting scared and running away. Craven is now even more pissed. Weapons guy gives Celine some silver nitrate bullets. They inject liquid silver nitrate into a werewolf's bloodstream when they get shot, and it just like kind of courses through their veins and kills them really quick. It's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Then we find out that Craven and Sheen are in cahoots together. He's like, hey, you need to lay low. And he's like, nah, I don't want to anymore. Celine goes to a dark room to read some ancient text, which is really just a bunch of cool pictures. Not really sure if this can read or not. And I guess there's a piece of Lucian's branded skin inside this book. She rips it out. It looks like a piece of silly putty. Then she sees a pic of some guy with an amulet, and she has a flashback that she saw the same type of amulet on Sheen. Michael goes to meet his friend at the hospital, and he's like, hey, I got bit by, like, some guy. And he's like, okay, I'll be right back. And, of course, he brings the 2 werewolf cops with him. Like, what a fucking piece of shit. Michael runs away again. Celine sneaks into Viktor's tomb and twists a bunch of mechanisms, and up pops his coffin. Inside is his shriveled up corpse. It's pretty cool. For a movie with a lot of bad CGI, this was really well done. I think a lot of the practical effects and sets in this are very, very good. She spits some of her blood into his mouth. Nice. And this is gonna reawaken him. Her blood ends up getting all the cobwebs out of his guts, and he hears her telling him about all the bad shit that's going on, that Lucian never really died, and Craven is probably working for him. Michael shows up back at the vampire mansion, and she peels out Tokyo Drift style to pick him up. Other vampire chick tells Craven that Michael's a werewolf, and he's like, what? Then Viktor wakes up, and he's got all these blood tubes like hooked up to him, like in his back. It's rad. It's super metal. Celine ends up telling Michael at this point, like, hey, you're turning into a werewolf, dude. Just deal with it. Sorry. Viktor is super mad at Craven. He's like, you need to wake up Marcus. And they're like, Marcus is still asleep. We actually woke you up like 100 years early. And he is so mad. And I don't know what the fuck is going on. She takes Michael to a building where vampires interrogate werewolves, and he is super scared. I would be too. I don't know though. Maybe I wouldn't be. Sheen and the gang are getting all their guns together. They're about to do some blasting. I'm really excited about this. Michael asks Celine why she hates werewolves so much, which is exactly what I've been thinking the whole time. What is the reason for all this bloodshed, guys? Can't you just get along? So she tells a story about how werewolves killed her whole family and that Viktor saved her and turned her. So yeah, werewolves. Michael tells her about how his mom died in a car accident right next to him. It's a pretty rough story. Celine and Michael then kiss, and then she locks him in a room. Celine comes back into the mansion. Craven's like, you bitch, what did you do? And then she punches him in the face. She talks to Viktor, who's looking slightly less slimy, and he scolds her for waking him up, and she broke this chain, and now she'll be judged and punished for it. So apparently the head vampires, they take turns sleeping for a long time, and one will be in charge for a while, couple centuries, then they'll go to sleep, they'll wake the next guy up. I think that's how it works. She gets locked up. Michael's trying to escape this interrogation room, and then a bunch of werewolves attack a train full of vampires, and to make matters worse, it's a full freaking moon, and so much shit is happening at once. Blondie trips the power and the alarms in the mansion, then gives Celine her guns. Celine leaves, and there's a van full of werewolves outside that are ready to follow her, and Michael is having a bit of a rough time. She shows up, and she's like, we gotta go. And then the wolves start shooting, and she shoots back. A ton of slow motion gunfighting here. Michael jumps out the window and lands on his feet. Whoa. Wow. And then immediately gets captured by the wolf cops. In all of this madness, the mad scientist is the only one who didn't get killed. That train of vampires got royally fucked up. They are taking blood from these vampires. This was one of those plot points that I was completely lost on. I have no idea who any of these people are. They kept talking about this chick and the train and how they're coming and meeting for some kind of party, but I think I had tapped out on giving a shit. This is just one of those things in the movie that just kind of happened that I watched. I just saw this happen. I couldn't care less. Michael sees a full moon in the back of the cop car, and he starts changing, and they seem unfazed by this. They don't really care. They crank a bunch of new metal while his ribs are breaking, and he starts morphing, and then I guess it gets so severe that they have to pull over and inject him so that he doesn't die. Viktor's looking great. He's looking sexy as hell. Craven comes in, and then Celine, and she's got this scientist, and they do this huge lore dump. I'm going to do my best to kind of explain what's happening. Basically, there was an immortal from the Black Plague. He had 2 sons, a vampire and a werewolf. Something like that. They've been looking for his descendants so that they can mix their blood and create a werewolf-vampire hybrid. Okay, so I think Lucien is that, maybe. I don't know. Either way, this isn't good, and they can't be mixing bloodlines like that. Victor then learns that the entire train is dead. He punches the scientist so hard that it fucking kills him. He tells Celine, like, hey, I'm really sorry for doubting you, and you gotta go and kill Michael. And she doesn't want to hear that. That's her new boyfriend. They kissed. Sheen takes some blood from Michael, and we get a flashback again. And this scene gave me motion sickness. Like, I hated this fucking scene. I was actually watching this movie on a plane and I swear to God, this scene gave me the first migraine I've ever had in my entire life. I wanted to blow my brains out in the bathroom, and it's this scene's fault. Turns out that Sheen was actually in love with a vampire girl, and the vampires, I guess, killed her in front of him with the sun. Like, it's a pretty tragic story, and honestly, maybe he's not such a bad guy after all. Then we learn that werewolves are actually the slaves of vampires. Lucien fell in love with Victor's daughter. Yeah, boy. Which was forbidden, so he killed her. And the amulet that he wears, that belonged to her. Lucien somehow transformed during all of this, and he escaped with this amulet. So, Sheen is actually Lucien, the leader of the werewolves. Oh my God, he's not dead. And seems like the vampires are actually pretty bad guys. Craven shows up, then Celine and her crew, and everybody is just getting ready to shoot a lot of guns at each other. And I'm getting excited. What follows is a fight that was really tough to understand because everybody looks exactly the same on both sides. It's like if a group of techno dancers fought a group of vampires in the dark. I don't know who's winning or losing, but I'm enjoying it. Craven shoots Lucien in the back with a nitrate round, and then Deep Voice Werewolf finds him, and I don't know, I think he's dead, which really sucks, because, like, best character, and they just kill him first movie. That sucks. Deep Voice is like, I'm gonna kill these motherfuckers. He fights this vampire, has these silver whips. He changes into a werewolf, and I think that this is the first time where the werewolf is actually, like, practical. It's like a whole like suit. It's really cool. And oh my God, Lucien's alive, thank God. Celine starts fighting the werewolf, and I just gotta say, like, this whole like ending, this like end big battle here with like real werewolves on screen, it makes it that much more enjoyable. Then this other weirder looking like werewolf, I don't know, this like creature attacks a vampire crew. It was super weird. Like, I thought maybe I dreamt this. Celine kills another werewolf and then rescues Michael, and they kiss. And this is just not good. Lucien's watching the whole thing through a hole in the wall like a pervert. They run into Craven and he shoots Michael. He tells her that werewolves didn't kill her family. Victor did. And she reminded him of her daughter, so he spared her. Then Lucien shows up and he stabs Craven. Then he tells her to bite Michael, who is looking pretty fucking dead right now. But she does it. Craven shoots and kills Lucien. Motherfucker! Victor shows up, he throws Michael through a wall, and then he tries to talk her down about all the stuff that he's done to her, you know, all of the lies. And Victor's like, okay, well, I guess I gotta go deal with this thing now. Michael is a vampire werewolf hybrid, like legit now, I guess, and the design of this thing is very bad. It's really lame. He looks mostly human. He's got like dark blue skin and claws. Like, he kind of looks like Beast from the X-Men, but way worse. Michael is holding his own against Victor. Celine kills a couple more vampires that are shooting at them, and then Victor punches her. Then she grabs Victor's sword and cuts him. I mean, she doesn't actually cut him. She actually cleaves his head into two pieces, which is just great because honestly, Victor's like the second best character in this. Michael and her just kind of stare at each other. Then we see these other weird creatures, the ones I thought I dreamt. They're moving around in the back. We still don't get to see what they are, though. She grabs the amulet, and Michael's turned back into a real boy, and they both leave. Back at the tomb, we hear her talking about how Marcus is going to wake up soon and how she's going to be in a whole bunch of trouble and they're going to hunt her down. And then we see the blood from the mad scientist dripping down into Marcus's, onto him. Cool. End of movie. Screenplay by Danny McBride. It's not the real Danny McBride, it's just some poser. But yeah, this movie was alright. It's dumb and it's dated, but I kind of enjoyed it for what it was. Like I said before, there is so much lore into this that it was impossible to keep track of or care, but I think that as a universe, like, it sets up so many different things, like, it's so broad that there's so much left to be explored. It has horrendous ratings, but the audience score is super high, which seems about right. These movies definitely seem like they would have a low-key amount of people that love them. Girls who really like Evanescence love Underworld. I hear that they only get worse from here and more batshit, which I'm actually very excited about. But there's like 5 of these things. Like, this is a pretty successful franchise, which is kind of crazy, but I really can't wait to see more. I hope that they end up bringing some of these characters back, retcon some stuff. Lucian dying in the first movie, that's just a travesty to me. What a complete waste. Looking forward to seeing the next one. What is it? Evolutions or something like that? Something stupid. Can't wait. What do you think? Have you seen Underworld? What are your thoughts on it? Go ahead and sound off in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Be sure to drop a like on this video, subscribe to my channel for more, and thank you for watching. Bye.